This is actually my last week up in Flint. I'll be going to training camp June 27th. Training camp is in Colorado. Yep, and I'll be there till July 14th.
That's Flint native and female boxer Clarissa Shields. She will be embarking on her Olympic journey next week. All that and more here from the web this Thursday. This is the Daily Webcast. I'm Jared Smith. There was a reception for the 17-year-old Flint Northwestern student last night. She says it's finally starting to sink in that she's competing in the first ever women's Olympic boxing competition, when a few weeks ago she wasn't even sure she would go. Shields suffered her first loss to England's Savannah Marshall in the World Championships and was knocked out of the tournament. But ironically, since Marshall went on to win, an Olympic committee chose Shields as the wild card for her weight class. But don't call those two girls friends.
I never rooted for her. I never rooted for her. I sat there, I looked at her, I said, oh, God, please let this girl win. But I never once said, let's go, Savannah, never. It's something called pride. I got a lot of that.
That interview with Clarissa is our featured video of the day. To watch the entire uncut interview, check out our homepage, mynbcnews.com. And the Olympics, of course, will be aired exclusively on the NBC family of networks this July. Meanwhile, many residents here in mid-Michigan were bolting for the comfort of their air conditioners yesterday as temps reached near record highs. Our own Janet Vandenwinkle has a look at the weather forecast and tells us if things will cool down at all today. What do you say, Janet?
Thanks, Jared. Well, we're going to finally see a change in weather today. I know a lot of people couldn't deal with the sweltering hot heat, but we will start to cool off today. Meanwhile, it's going to be muggy and still warm. Temperatures topping out in the mid-80s before a round of thunder showers come through. This is along a cold front that will pass by through the area. This evening, we're already starting to dry out and down to 59 for a low tonight. We'll be much more comfortable overnight if you don't have the AC. And tomorrow we'll be back around highs of 80.
All right, thanks, Janet. Time now for Thursday's news headlines here on the web. We begin in Flint, where a domestic dispute turned deadly earlier this morning. Flint police responded to a shooting just after 6 a.m. right around the 300 block of East Van Wagner Ave by Martin. Here's a picture that we took from the scene. Initial reports have indicated that a woman has been shot and killed. Details are very limited at this time, although it was reported a little bit earlier that a shotgun was found at the scene this afternoon. No suspect or victim information, though, has been released. We'll have the latest on our website, mynbcnews.com. Also tonight on NBC 25 News at 6 p.m. Meanwhile, in Saginaw, residents rallied against inner-city violence together at the Skyway Plaza on Wednesday. Close to 100 people attended the anti-violence rally in Carlton Township, not far from where 12-year-old T.J. Stewart went to school. He is the young boy that was gunned down while sleeping at his grandfather's house back on June 7th. Although his killer is still on the loose, police consider Stewart's death to be a random act of violence. And this morning on NBC 25 Today, the summer concert series rolled on with another local talent. Today, the soothing sounds of Maria Rose and the Swiss Kicks did their thing on our plaza. Let's take a listen. Good stuff there from them, and we'll have their entire performance on our homepage, mynbcnews.com. Meanwhile, in sports, it's match play at the 101st Michigan Amateurs. 64 of Michigan's best golfers started yesterday, but after 2 rounds, only 16 remain out at Oakland Hills Country Club. The leader after 2 days of stroke play, the #1 seed Brian Hayward of Grand Rapids. Unfortunately, none of the Genesee County golfers remain in the field. That tourney wraps up on Friday. We posted some raw video from yesterday's match play at Oakland Hills. Thanks a lot to Jamie Edmonds for shooting that. And for more on that footage, you can check out our homepage, mynbcnews.com. And for more on the top stories of the day, news, sports, take your pick, whatever you want, it's our homepage. There it is right there. It is mynbcnews.com. I'll say it one more time just for kicks. And be sure to chime in on what you read by logging onto our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/NBC25, or you can find us on Twitter at NBC_25. Don't forget, coming up tonight on NBC 25 News at 6 p.m., we will have updates from this morning's deadly shooting on Van Wagner Ave in Flint. So stay tuned to Bill Harris and the rest of the NBC 25 News team tonight at 6 p.m. for that story, and of course more from the top headlines of the day. That is it for these web headlines here on Thursday. Check back with us tomorrow for another edition of the Daily Webcast. Until then, thanks for tuning in.